so alive.
Glorious conditions here at beautiful Newlands in Cape Town. South Africa 1-0 up after Boxing Day brilliance. Match that we all thoroughly enjoyed. It's hard to imagine we won't enjoy the New Year Test match as well.
Up in the air, and there is number one. In no position to play that at all, and the bouncer does it again.
It's a snorter, isn't it?
Oh, big shout, huge shout, and the finger finally goes up. He thought about it a lot.
They've got to worry about Dale Steyn, Philander, Rabada. They've got to worry about these guys. Olivier bowling those bouncers.
Oh, what a good delivery. What a good delivery. He's 3 from 3. Azhar Ali unable to cope with wicked bounce.
If Boxing Day at Pretoria was dramatic, well, this is every bit as dramatic. Pakistan already 75 for 5.
Well, if there was ever a time for a captain's innings, a captain's knock.
That's a good shot. That's off the glove. And that's the final one. So Dale Steyn has picked up the last one. He's now picked up 3. This has been an amazing performance from South Africa. Strong shots. Backward a square.
Nice shot. Beautiful to bring up a half century.
Such a horrible ball. This the last ball of the day. You don't want to be facing it. You don't want to be facing it against a part-timer.
He's got him. Goodness me, that has kept low and come back a lot.
Oh, what a horrible ball to face.
Last delivery of the day. It would have been closer play if he had negotiated that one.
What a day we've had here. Pakistan bowled out. South Africa replying, so much so that there's only 54 between the sides. Pakistan have to play brilliant cricket. Yes, all hail South African pace yesterday. Hello, everybody, and welcome to the second day's play in this Castle Lager Test match at Newlands between South Africa and Pakistan. A great view there of the famous mountain range in the background of a cricket ground that attracts everybody. One of the favourites to play on, one of the favourites to watch the game on, and South Africa made so good of it yesterday. Let's have a look at how the game stands overnight, because those bowlers, fast, furious, intelligent, skillful, caused real damage. Pakistan bowled out for 177, put into bat by Faf du Plessis. Only Safraz Ahmed, the captain, and Deshaun Masood made anything of the South Africans. And then 123 for 2 could so easily have been 123 for 1 off the last ball of the day, as you saw in that opening montage. Aiden Markram undone by an unplayable delivery that nipped back, having kept so low, and spoilt what was otherwise a near perfect day. An advantage of 54 runs then. I've got Ramiz Raja and Robbie Peterson with me this morning. Gents, good morning.
Morning.
Good to see you. Another perfect day for cricket here. Not a good day for Pakistan yesterday, but a beauty for the South Africans, Robbie.
Yeah, South Africa will be very happy going in today too. I think it all started with a toss, looking at their team selection, having picked 4 fast bowlers. Managed to knock Pakistan over. They were fast, they were furious, and glad to see Duan Wolifier's good form continue in the series, picking up 4 wickets. And I'm very pleased for Dale Steyn. I think he needed like a little bit of bag of wickets, so very happy that he's on the board.
In your time against the new ball, you had to fend off 4 West Indies pacemen a lot. That's what your guys had to do against the South Africans yesterday, fend them off.
Yeah, absolutely. Not an easy task at all, because once you lose the toss on a green pitch, obviously you're up against it, and Pakistan's perennial mistrust with the short ball continues, and it has haunted them, and it's a problem.
Okay, let's go through the wickets yesterday, lest you didn't see them or would like to see them again. First out, and there you are. That's all you need to see. Bounce, pace and power.
Yeah, a lot of aggression. I think this is what you talk about when you play against teams like Pakistan, to use your short ball aggressively, get the catches in behind the wicket. The slips are always in the game. That's the only LBW we saw all day, hitting the stumps of Vern Philander, which he does so well.
Yeah, both the guys playing to their strength. Olivier with the short ball and Philander with the fully pitched nip backer. But all in all, it was a bit too much to handle and full stop with line length, skill and power.
Yeah, I mean, you were tested on both lengths, the forward length and the back of the length deliveries, and they got it perfectly right against Azhar Ali, for example, against Babar Azam. Tested him with a short ball, and Shan Masood, who batted so well, he looked to be in complete control on a difficult pitch against tremendous bowling attack, and Sarfraz also came good, which was required, which was needed. No one wants a captain to be out of touch, out of colour, because it puts a lot of pressure on the entire unit. But South Africans were strong, bowling those challenging lines and lengths, and in the end had a great day.
Robbie, South Africa does a lot of research. It knows its opponent. It's always played this tough brand of cricket, giving little away, and always favoured quick bowlers on the pitches here.
Yeah, that's the way. I mean, if you look at the pitches, how they've been prepared, there's a lot of grass on it, so understandably so, the fast bowlers to do the bulk of the work. So, yeah, it has been. South Africa does a lot of research. They have a meticulous captain in Faf du Plessis and one of his senior players in Hashim Amla. So they would have studied Pakistan. They knew it was an important series coming off Sri Lanka. They needed to get off the board quite well. So that's the way they decided to attack. It was fast and furious, and the catching was superb yesterday. I thought that was a highlight of the day for me.
Yeah, fair call. We're going to focus on catching actually in segment 2 with Graham and Sean close to the wicket catching. Ramiz, how do you deal with quick bowling mentally? Because clearly it is a problem now for Pakistan after 3 consecutive innings not making 200 yet in the series.
Yeah, I mean, if you're looking for a short ball, you're going to get it, and you're going to be in a very, very bad position. So you must not look for that length when you're out there. You've got to look for the ball that is pitched up, actually. So that will improve your footwork a lot. But once you're camped on the back foot, you're all over the place, and so you get beaten by both lengths, the forward length and back of the length deliveries. And then you've got to tackle with this sideways movement as well. So you've got to be in complete order when you're taking on a bowling attack like this. But if you're fearing for your life, then you're done, because it is how that appeared, especially Azhar Ali. Now he's got to find a way to resist that length and do something about it. I think it'd be better served at pulling the ball. I think you get a better clarity. You look more at the ball when you're looking to pull or hook, and you can also sway away from the line at the last minute. I think that could be a better option for Azhar.
Interesting. At yesterday's lunchtime masterclass, Kevin Peterson talked about being in position to attack the short ball and then making a decision to get out of the way of the short ball. So if you set yourself up to attack in cricket in general as a batsman, you'll be in a better position to defend. So that's technically, physically, but what about the mind games? Do you go back to your hotel room at night worrying about it?
I'll tell you, every batsman worries about short pitch bowling, no matter what a brave face he puts up. It's not something you like to face, but you have to deal with it. And I think the intimidation factor, the fact that you can get hurt, that's what plays on your mind. So I think that's added. It's not like playing in the subcontinent. The ball can't hit you on the head. You got to tackle spin. In South Africa, you can get seriously hurt. So that's the mental side of it. But I thought Pakistan, they tried to ride the bounce, and when it was a little bit too steep, they couldn't get out of the way.
Yeah, well, the one guy who coped so well with it was Shan Masood for the second test match in a row. I think you guys have got one here.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, there's clarity of thought and purpose, and technique was in order as well. And he was very precise with what he wanted to do with the short length, with the bouncer, because he didn't go hard at the ball also. It's just about timing and placing the ball, and also looking to be positive against the short ball, whether it was a 4 or a single. And that allowed him to drive the ball down the ground as well, because the footwork was in order, because he wasn't really afraid and looking for the short length all the time.
One of my favourite players in the world for a while now has been Sarfraz Ahmed, because he's such a competitive cricketer, and I felt for him out of form, leading the side, keeping wicket, but we saw the best of him at the crease yesterday.
Yeah, he's a gutsy character, and he's streetwise smart. He'll look for those difficult angles because he uses the crease. He'll stand out of the crease, so he'll create his own angle through point. He'll go back also and use his feet against the medium pacer as well. So it's an important knock, because, as I just mentioned, that you want your captain to be in good stead, in good form, because that releases a bit of pressure on the entire unit.
Okay, thank you guys. We need to hear from inside the Pakistan camp. A very difficult series for them so far. One of their most gifted cricketers is Mohammad Amir. Even he hasn't made quite the impression he might have liked to have made, but here he is now with Mike Hazeman.
Mohammad, thanks for your time. Another tough day for Pakistan yesterday with the bat. Why?
To be honest, wicket like this, it's very difficult to start to bat on, and I think the credit goes to the South African bowlers. They bowled really well, and they were bowling with the plans, and I think moisture was there because they win the toss and bowl first. And I think end of the day we fight well because we finished 181. At least we can fight.
You're bowling with some nice rhythm. You're key today. What sort of a difference do you need to make?
I think we have to perform like a bowling unit, like the South African did, and I think on this wicket now we have to bowling wicket to wicket. It's good for batting now, I think, and first session is very important for us. We have to took 2-3 wickets early on, and we have a chance to restrict them to 30, 240. I think will open chance for us.
Just going back to yesterday and talking about the pitch, how tough did the batsmen say the pitch was in the first session yesterday?
I think in South Africa, especially first hour or 2 hours, it's always difficult because of the bounce, and we are not used to it. To be honest, we always playing, our home condition is Dubai, and Dubai is totally different from this, and it is difficult for the batsmen.
Markram was playing well, but a big wicket the last ball of the day.
Yeah, I think that was you can say, encouraging point for us. We can go with that momentum. I think if, like I said, if we took 2-3 wickets, so we have an open chance.
And lastly, is Shan Masood still talking about that wicket?
Yeah, he's a golden arm for us. He did like in Centurion, and he did yesterday. I think good for us. And okay. he can help. He can help us, and always. We talk about team effort, and he's a team player. He's doing well in the batting, and we hope he will do better in bowling too.
Thanks for your time. Have a good day.
Thank you very much.
Clearly very challenging for Pakistan. Now look caged and ready to go after the break with a slip catching demo. The big three. Don't go away. Well, you can have the best fast bowlers on the planet, but you've got to be able to hold on to your catches if you're going to be a really top side. And that's something that the South Africans have done very well throughout this series. There are a lot of good natural catches there. Faf du Plessis perhaps first amongst them. And we're just going to focus on that now. Graham Smith and Sean Pollock alongside me out in the middle here at first and second slip where they'd be. Kev's going to hit some balls. Sean, talk us through this package first, though. Just give us a feel for how well they've caught and the great range of catches they've had to take.
Yeah, different techniques that you'll see as we play this package through. The different guys go with different options. This is a really good catch from Dean Ogre. The ball flies. He opens that front leg to give himself space to take the catch. So that's a good start. Those kind of catches where you have to anticipate and launch yourself to a right, that's very important. That depends on the weight distribution. That's another good one from Faf. We'll touch on the fact why maybe he falls over when he takes that catch. That's another example of Faf moving to his left and falling over. These catches, well, anyone loves to get those as slip, where you can just wait until they come to you. And these ones are real loopers. Those are the easy ones to slip, if there is ever an easy catch at a slip cordon. Fingers up, Faf du Plessis, that was the one that he took, and this was the one that was dropped, where he went to go fingers down, and the ball got big on him. Yes. So those are, it's just a different techniques, and we'll discuss that. That one, he's gone with the wrong technique of fingers down, and that's why it's got through him and hit him on the chest. Whereas the one before that, you saw Faf go brilliantly with the fingers up, and that's the better way to catch it, particularly on that height.
Okay, Graham, start us with the setup. How you position yourself, where you position yourself, what you watch when the bowler delivers.
Everyone's got their own styles, you see, from batting and bowling. It's the same with slip catching. For me, there were a couple of crucial factors. You know, you want to have nice soft arms, and generally the best way to do that is to bend your knees. You want to have nice bent knees, be on your toes, because as a slip fielder, you need to move. And we saw some of the guys needing to catch inside right, inside left. If you're on your heels, you can't go anywhere, you're stuck. So you want to be nice on your toes, hands on knees, nice relaxed arms. And generally for me, you decide, are you going to watch the ball out of the bowler's hand, or are you going to watch the edge of the bat? And I watched the edge of the bat. That was my technique, so I just focus directly on the edge of the bat throughout the day. Nice relaxed arms, and just allow my arms as the ball's released just to fall. So your arms are nice and relaxed, soft hands, because you've got so little time to react as a slip fielder, generally based on where the pitch and where you stand, that you've got to allow your body and your hands to be nice and soft to move to be able to take the catch.
Interesting point that you watch the bat at first slip, because the sort of thing you're taught as a kid is you watch the ball if you're at first slip, and the squarer you get, the more likely you are to watch the bat.
Yeah, Graham spent a lot of time at number one. I sort of drifted around the slip cordon, and when I was at one, I watched the ball. I loved it because I felt like I could follow the whole path. As I went to two or wider, that was when I went and looked at the bat. And the only difference I would say to Graham is I was very similar. The only thing is I had a trigger movement, so as the ball was bowled, I just rocked onto my front toes. So I would have my weight on my heels, and as the ball was bowled, I'd rock onto the toes. So it'd be like my trigger movement like a batsman.
And I think that's a very important thing. We saw Hashim Amla drop one in Pretoria at first slip. He was quite deep, and the catch dipped on him, but because his weight was back, he couldn't almost get to the ball in front of him. So you always want to be on your toes, your head slightly forward so that you can move. Head's always in line with the catch. I mean, your head's here, it's very, very little time you're going to take the catch if your head's not in line.
I'll just pick something Graham did there, maybe unknowingly. We'll just have a look then. Here's Hashim Amla. Now, he didn't do what Graham just did. A tiny little bit of footwork that makes a difference. When you went to your right, you just opened your right foot. When you go to your left, you just opened your left foot. And that makes it so much easier for you to move fluently.
The other thing about slip catching is having trust in your partners. Your keeper generally sets the standard. So I know, okay, I've got a relationship with that keeper. Quinton de Kock, for example, very good to his right. He takes magnificent catches diving to his right. So as a first slip fielder, depending on the angle of the bowler, I could come a touch wider. I knew Callis could dive to his left very well, so I pushed him away. So you have those relationships with your slip fielders, and that's important as well.
Just touch on that foot movement. It's the same when you're batting, isn't it? If you lock yourself in that position, it's very difficult to get forward and back. So as the ball comes, if you open your foot, all of a sudden you've got more movement because your knee can bend, and if you open your foot, you can move. So that's definitely.
Did you have a preference in the style that you like to catch? Probably fingers up, fingers down?
Let's hit a few. Kev, if you can hit a few, we'll just show some examples, and then you can talk about that, Graham, as we go along.
Oh, pants!
We've got spare underwear here.
Yeah, I used to prefer to catch it as much as possible finger down.
I got used to catching Kevin a lot, Mark. It was a very easy thing to do.
And when it's higher, that's when you go the fingers up. And I think the lesson for the kids is this is the hard part of your hands. You don't want to catch anything over there. So if you're catching it here on that angle, it's going to hit and bounce out. So as much as possible, you want to be there. So it hits the soft part, the middle of the hands. And then same thing as once it goes above chest high, you want to go from there around there. So it keeps hitting the soft part of your hands, almost like a baseball mitt. You want it to go in there and stick soft rather than hit the hard parts of the what do they call it? The chicken drumstick of the hand.
I have a few more, Kev. We just want to see how soft they're taking the ball. That's the other thing I think is worth focusing on, how much give you have, how you ride see, each time they take a catch, I'll just show you, each time these two guys take a catch, they're letting the ball come into there. Sometimes you will ride, those ones you have to ride big, don't you?
Yeah, you do, because the key too is sometimes the ball almost comes like a flying saucer, where it can come up a little bit steeper than you expect, and that's the other thing about anticipating at what height the ball's going to get you, trying to work that out easy. I'll show you another example of a catch. It's just headed about middle. This is Faf du Plessis catches like that sometimes, which is it's like the oyster crocodile catch. Brian McMillan was a wonderful example of that, and he gets into that position and tries to take it. Yes, it works because it still hits the soft part, but that's something you've got to be comfortable with. I think the normal way would be just
right,
normal.
we're going to leave Kev hitting to Graham, and you and I are going to go and have a look at the pitch. So just we'll make a move here.
Yeah, get him working on this.
We're going with Skibo, this camera here. Let's have a look at this pitch now. I know Polly's got a few points about it. Thanks, Kev. Good hitting. Thanks, Graham.
We can't see the screen, but I'm just going to talk it through, and they'll obviously play it through. This is the area over here where there's some divots that created yesterday, and these created some variable bounce, 1, 2, 3 in particular. It's the area, what you can see, there's a normal grass cover on the normal plates, and in this area here, what you got cracks, and those are surrounded by some thick grass. So anytime the ball lands in here, it creates a divot, plus you've got the crack that has an impact as to how the ball behaves. We've got some examples, 3 of them, of the ball went almost through the roof. One was Duano Lafia, and that one takes off, and look where Quinton de Kock takes it. It's amazing how hard. That was as Quinton was up to the bat, a full-length delivery, and that's beaten Quinton over his shoulder and gone for 4 bars. And then late in the day, we saw Hashim Amla get smashed into the fingers. He ended up having to have some treatment, full length, and it absolutely took off. And that's exactly from these spots. I mean, it might seem like it's quite far back, but that's only 4, 5.5 meters in that exact area over there, and that's where it's going to misbehave from. So they have got something to work with. It's on the cracks, it's where there's thick grass. The rest of the surface is going to play beautifully.
Well, on that last ball of the day, we saw low bounce too from a crack, the ball nipping back so far to Aiden Markram. It's a real challenge, isn't it? Markram played particularly well, I thought.
Yeah, he was superb. I think he's a real find for South Africa, and in years to come, he's going to dictate terms as a batting the icon for the side going forward, and he was just brilliant. And you got to feel from, don't you? That last ball, I mean, it's a part-time bowler, and he comes on from wide, the ball pitches and nips back and cleans up the stumps, and now he has to sit. He could be getting padded up, thinking about 3 figures, coming back out here to carry on. No, it's not cricket.
It's all over.
No scripts in this game.
All right, well, let's hear from Aiden, because a short while ago he was with Hazy.
Aiden, thanks for joining us. Righto, what happened last ball? Why?
Look, thanks, Mike. I don't know. One of those things, I guess. Part of the game, and we'll never quite understand it, but there's reason behind it in the long run somewhere, I believe.
The pitch played a part, of course. Before that, you looked in total control. How did you feel?
Yeah, it was nice. Thanks, Mike. I feel like it's a better wicket than what Centurion was for batters. Fortunately, was able to get in this time around, and would have liked to obviously go a lot bigger, because we know in this series there's probably going to be one that has your number on it. But yeah, it was nice to spend a bit of time out there and to have got the team off to a relatively good start.
It was noticeable you were batting outside your crease, in particular to Mohammad Abbas. What was that thinking?
Yeah, look, I mean, I'm aware that they're going to come at my pads, especially after the first test, and I tried to take that out the equation, and obviously Mohammad Abbas bowls with great control, and we've seen what he can do. So our plan to him, and I think Hash and Dean did it as well, was to get quite a far way out our crease to try to take LBW out the equation. Yeah, and we know what a threat he can be, so that was our sort of plan against him.
And looking how the pitch played right at the start of the test match to what you're expecting now, any concerns? Apart from balls like you got?
Yeah, look, I mean, thinking back to yesterday, I think maybe only 2 or 3 stayed down. Besides from that, I think it's a really good wicket. So with both bat and ball, if you hit the wicket quite hard, there's something in it with the ball. And if you get in as a batter, there's runs on offer. So I'm excited with the pitch. I think it's a great wicket. Like I said, 2 or 3 doesn't make it a bad wicket at all. Besides from that, it's played really well.
And if you guys play well this morning, not only can you control this test, but the series.
Absolutely, and that's the idea behind this morning. The first hour is obviously very crucial, and then the hour to lunch is also massive. So if we can have a good first session this morning, it'll hopefully put us in a great position to hopefully bat once this test match and bat big. Yeah.
It was a class 70, well played.
Thanks, Mike. Thank you.
Aiden Markram and Sean Pollock still with me. The day is now set up for South Africa. This is one of those test match days where you knuckle down and you bat long, isn't it?
It is indeed. It should be the better batting surface. It's baked out. It's had another roll of the surface, so I think it should play pretty well. Still 8 second wickets in hand. South Africa, the game plan's pretty simple. Pakistan are the ones that they have to try and pick themselves up. Where's the hope? Where's the hope coming from? They have to pick up early wickets, and then they have to hope that they can bat properly second time round in order to get themselves back into this test match. South Africa, they're bossing things.
Another important innings for Hashim Amla, do you think, to cement what he achieved at Centurion?
Definitely, but he looked really settled yesterday. I must admit, I think that 60 that he got at SuperSport Park has settled him down. I think he's looking very more comfortable. He sorted out his game plan, and for me, he looks as good as he's looked for a while. So I'm positive about what he's going to achieve.
Conditions are perfect, aren't they? I mean, if you were ever going to pick a day to bat in Cape Town, this would be it.
Yeah, there's not even much of a breeze to keep us bowlers cool.
Okay, we're ready to head upstairs. We're welcoming people all over the world joining us for the first time today. We've got ideal conditions at Newlands here. The pitch, yes, I mean, an awkward pitch, but in many ways a good batting pitch, particularly when the bowlers are tired and when the ball gets a bit soft. So a real chance for South Africa to take a dominating hold on this test match. Let's head upstairs to our commentators.
You make me feel so alive.